disrupt or be disrupted. That's the topic. And because I've been part of people experiencing disruption in my industry, and I've taken time to do some thorough study about disruption. And I want you to know that because changes are happening fast in this generation, everybody needs to be aware of changes in their industry. Because if you are not, you will be disrupted. And I want to start with the song and late Samuel Ladoke Akitola used to sing in the days of Action Group. Taye banyi kama baye yi, tigba banyi kama bagba yi, eni tí ó bá bagba yi Olúwa rẹ̀ á bagba lọ. Some people may not understand. As the world is evolving, you need to evolve. Rigidity and unwillingness to change is the energy of fools. So as the world is changing, if you are not changing, you will have problems. I have a picture. Can you please move down to one man crying there? Yeah, take this one. Now, this is the CEO of Nokia when Nokia was selling to Microsoft. While he was appending his signature, he was crying. So journalists gathered around him and they asked him, what did Nokia do wrong? And the man said, we did nothing wrong. We just found ourselves on the floor. He was right because managerially they did nothing wrong. If you have read a book by Malcolm Gladwell, David and Goliath, you know when Goliath was talking that day, Goliath was in charge. If you listen to Goliath, but unknowingly to him, a small boy was coming in, and he underrated the small boy. That CEO of Nokia did not tell us that before this day, a young man from Nigeria approached Nokia by the name Nnamdi Ezeugo, the CEO of Slots. He was observing then that Nigerians like to carry in the days of Econet, MTN and co. Nigerians were carrying two phones in their hands. And the man saw that Nigerians will need a phone that can have two SIM. So he approached Nokia after his class in the Lagos Business School to tell them that, why don't you make a phone that has two SIM? That was where the world was moving to then. But Nokia did not see it. They turned him down. But the guy was still bothered about that question. So he traveled to China. And because God was leading him, he met two brothers, blood brothers, who had a phone company that was about to close down because of fund. And he told them the challenge he was having that. And they laughed. They said, we can make a phone that can have 4 SIM if you want. But we need money. And he came back to Nigeria to raise funds to go back. That was how Techno first came with that small phone that has 3 SIM, 2 SIM. I even saw then a phone that has 4 SIM slots. So that was the end of Nokia because Nokia could not see it. Now, second slide. What is disruption? Second slide. Now, disruption happens when a competitor enters a market with low-priced product or service that most established industry players view as inferior. Nokia saw that making a phone that will have 2 SIM is inferior. Whereas they did not know that somebody was listening to people and saw what the people needed. Even though it looked inferior at the beginning, but that was the needed product that time. So the new competitor uses technology and a new business model. There's a business model to run an idea that is strange, that is alien, that people don't know about. So it's not like the normal business model. In fact, you don't write business plan for a new idea because you are yet to experience or test the water in the market. So they will come with a new business model to continually improve its offering until it is good enough to satisfy what customers need. Let me give you an instance. Do you know that there was a time in Nigeria that the stand-up comedians we know are Alibabas? Yeah. And by December 26, Boxing Day, people gather at a hotel for shows with big money. Within that short period of time, young guys began to do comedy on social media. People laugh them off because they feel that this will not survive. But they killed that industry. To the extent that if you are going to do a comedy show now, if you don't bring in the likes of Kamo State and Co. or these Abiola Qs, your show will not go far. Those days when they came with just their phone and a guy holding the phone and they are recording. And today, they are the Don in the industry. They are the David that is killing the Goliaths of those days. Now, destruction is happening everywhere. Let me take you back. There was a time that the only giant tabernacle we have in Nigeria is Faith Tabernacle. And if you are not a winner, you are not in any church. But do you know, young ministry began. Who could listen to the new generation? Now, the older generation don't like what the new generation wants. So, the younger generations listen and they are disrupting the bigger ones. So, disruption is happening in every field. Every field. Now, for instance, I'm into training and consulting. And by the grace of God, I've done in some business and some organization. I've trained at Lagos, a First Bank Training School at Igomu. Now, COVID came. Recession was on before COVID. And because everybody was at home, the consulting industry began to go down. Now, if you don't know another thing to do, you will be out of business. So disruption is happening in every field. Let me even shock our students. What you are learning in school right now, I can tell you categorically that is outdated. What you will be certified for is already outdated. So coming out with it is like you are prepared for a war that is no longer existing. So you must be thinking disruption, because if you don't disrupt, you will be disrupted. Now look at this picture. It's an illustration of integrated mill in America. In the industry, we have people that have big machines, giants of the industry. Now, the least product in that industry is the last one there, rebar. Some people, they have integrated mill. They have big machines. Some people now began to do modular milling, that they were using like small mill that they would just dig. And the giants began to see them as dirty, low company. So the modular people saw that they don't have resources to do bigger steel. So they began to produce this rebar, the lowest one. By the time the giant ones saw that they were doing rebar, they left that market. Look at the first arrow down. They left that market for them because they were not ready to be doing dirty business. And after all, that one is giving small percentage, just 44%, 4%. So they left that industry for the modular mill. And when modular used the resources there to consolidate, like those boys used their phone to begin these kits, and now they are having cameras. And even this Pella boy can call for interview or PhD holders to be holding camera for him. So now, when they left rebar, they focus on angle irons, bar and co, structural steel and sheet steel. When the modular balanced with rebar, they moved up again to challenge them at the angle iron bars and rod. And these people still felt that let's leave that market for them. And when they balanced at that industry, they moved up again. And that was how they chased out the integrated mill out of market. This is what happened in every industry. Next one. I want to show you how markets operate. In every market, when products come, it will be costly. Only few people will be able to afford it. That is what we see in market A. Then some people that are creative and can see things will begin to look for how to get small resources to produce something that can do the same thing that one will do. And then they will be coming in one by one. And then they will now make more money. And before you know it, you will forget the first man who came into the industry. That is what we call disruption. And that is what is happening in every industry. Pity, when you were talking yesterday, because I will show you how to train your eyes to see things in your industry. Everything you were saying yesterday is the challenge of this century. Absentee parents, we have them around now. So when parenting is becoming a challenge, then you see some people, they will bear burden for that thing that is happening. Unknowingly to them, that's a signal that a new business should come. That's it. For instance, when people dump kids in school today, school closes by 2 or 3. Now you expect them to pick their kids 3. Now you still see some kids hanging around, nowhere to go, because daddy and mommy, they are away. After school. Now, school are now having a place called after school class now, whereby they can learn music equipment or whatever, instrument or whatever. And now, after that now, like you said, parenting now is difficult. People give birth, they can't parent. So parenting is becoming a profession now that some people can commoditize, can commercialize. That is how to see things emerging. Because the major need of this industry is parents will be busy and children will be neglected. And worse than Gen Z, they are coming now. I don't know the name, maybe Gen, whatever they are calling them. Now, what's the way out? Last one. Now, to see change in your industry, this word is how to think. Any industry where you are, think which job is to be done now. Have that question in your mind. What job to be done now? Just look for that. For instance, parenting. Like somebody said, if somebody raised your kids for you, whose child are they? And that is what we are seeing right now. People are not raising. Like what PG said is typical example. When you carry a child 0 to 2, the child looks straight into your eyeball. That time, in my psychological study, I discovered that when you carry a child, the first language children hear is love. It's not English or Yoruba. When they look eyeball to eyeball with you and you smile back, they feel safe in that atmosphere. They feel happy. And immediately unknowingly to you, the synapses in their brain begin to open up. But when a woman carries a child and she mistakenly got pregnant, the father is not there. And she said, and she began to say all those negative words. The baby will look at the woman. The baby will not be happy. And those synapses will close up instead of opening up. That is why when you see children who have inferiority complex and who are dull, that is the beginning. Because we have seen illiterates giving birth to intelligent children. Yes. Yes. So the foundation is the love you show your kids early. Now, unfortunately, people are dumping their kids with nannies and whatever now. And whoever raises the child will observe and begin to mirror. Whoever raises the child, like PG said, like the boy and the girl now. So that's the case. So when you think the job to be done, for instance, I've gotten a burden like you have in a parenting. When Japa was happening, I was concerned. And I've been studying entrepreneurship for the past 10 years. I've done 2 CDs on entrepreneurship. I called the first one, Goodbye Job Welcome Project. The second one, they said, do it in Yoruba. I did Ara. Now, with that burden in my heart, I saw that the people relocating, are they comfortable over there? The feedback I'm getting is not okay. Now, I now saw that why people can spend 12 million to move their family to UK. If they really understand entrepreneurship, 12 million in Nigeria can turn into a billionaire. Yes. Now you now spend 12 million only to be segmented into maybe caregiver in UK. And once you come into that bracket, 5 years, you won't be able to do anything. You just be doing post-study visa, $2,000, $3,000 pounds every year. So I said, what's the way out? I studied America before development, and I saw that people just stood up to solve problems, and they brought prosperity to the nation. So the same way I said, okay, what can I do? I began to package something on entrepreneurship, and the core part of it is called ideation. How do people see things others are not seeing? And the core question, the basic is that what job is to be done? Now, last one. To see things others are not seeing. People think innovation is cognitive, that is inborn. But I want to tell you it can be learned. Innovation can be learned. And these are the ways to learn it. By questioning the status quo. By questioning the modus operandi in any way you operate. Also by observing. And then there's something called associational thinking. For instance, if you see the business model of Airbnb and Uber is the same. Somebody has 3 bedrooms, is not using everything. Now, somebody comes to town, needs a room. Let me make one of my room available and get something in return. The same way, I have my car, I'm not fully using it. Somebody is in town, needs a car. Let me make my car available. So you can bring an idea from an industry to another industry and be profitable with it to solve a problem. What job to be done? So I round up by saying, you better disrupt your industry or you'll be disrupted. Thank you.